say you really like to skateboard, right? And you're into skateboarding and you're going to skateboarding park websites and you're going to skateboarding stores and you're looking, chances are in the future you're going to start to see advertisements for skateboards and skateboard parts and helmets and different things that go along with skateboarding. So those are things that are going to be happening with internet advertising. It's kind of already happening a little bit. It's called behavioral targeting, but it's going to happen in a big way. And the intention is not to be kind of creepy and, you know, thinking, hey, do these people know more? It's to give you what you need when you need it, instead of hitting you with something that you don't need, or advertising to you, constantly putting ads up. If you're not into skateboarding and then you're getting ads constantly about skateboarding, you're just going to get annoyed, right? You're going to be like, I don't want to go to this website anymore. So that's the whole idea, is it's to make the experience better. Does that answer the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Ladies, did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Sorry, trying to write.
It's okay. It's all right.
Time since college. How many times does an average consumer need to see or hear an ad before they respond?
So the rule that I've always gone by is 8.
8 times?
8 times. 8 times. That may have changed, but I still go by that rule. And it varies. So that's you say average, that's a pretty good average, you know. And it's the same on sales. Salesperson potentially needs to hit somebody or talk to somebody or somehow connect with somebody 8 times before they start to get a reaction, so, on average.
Do you believe that young people respond differently to advertising than other age groups?
So ask me the question one more time.
Do you believe that young people respond differently to advertising than other age groups? So if you,
Yes, they do, and here's why: because young people have more time to respond. So young people don't have. Young people don't have something that we always keep in mind when we're marketing to our B2B audience, our business-to-business audience, is that these are very, very busy people. So these are presidents and CEOs and chairmen of the board and directors of marketing. These are folks that are working 10-hour days, 12-hour days, and they're just, you know, sending emails and writing stuff, and they're just on and on. So when we market to them, we have to find a way to get into their day, you know, to get a minute to say what we want to say. For young people, you have school and, you know, you're busy, but you're not as busy, so you have more time to process things. You also have more time, you know, there's a different type of marketing that goes to young people, you know, more fun. And my belief is that fun doesn't have to stop when you turn 18. So when you get marketing when you're 35 or 55 or 75, you should still be able to have fun. You know, everybody laughs the same at that Doritos commercial, right? Because everybody can relate to the dog who somehow got after the cat. But it's what they do with that relation that makes the difference in the impact.
Do you know a way that we could research maybe how younger people, for example, would view an oil commercial as opposed to an adult, or things that are more relevant to what they see either as their political landscape or their environment in the future, like maybe issues that are more pertinent to what they think is pertinent to them?
You just hit the nail right on the head. It's somebody sees a gasoline commercial. They see a commercial for British Petroleum, okay, which is BP. You guys all heard about the oil spill, that terrible oil spill that happened years ago. You know, in actually 2 years ago now, right? In Louisiana. Remember the ducks and everything else? Okay. So when I see an ad for that now, for BP, the company that was involved with that, you know, they may be talking to me about gasoline. So that's something that I buy because I drive a car. When you guys see that, you might think about the ducks more. Not that I wouldn't think about the ducks, but that might be the first thing that hits your mind because you guys don't buy gasoline. But the idea is that if young people, if you guys see that commercial over and over and over again, and by the time you're of age to buy gasoline, and they have built back that brand trust, remember that brand trust that was damaged by that oil spill, then you're probably going to think about them when you're ready to buy gasoline. That's the whole point. So Exxon, years and years and years ago, probably before you guys were born, actually it was before you were born because it was 20 years ago, they had a huge oil spill up in Alaska. And their reputation was damaged for a very, very long time. And now it's started to recover. People feel more comfortable because Exxon went and they did the right thing. They did things in the environment. But that happened when I was younger, and still today I buy Exxon gasoline. So does that kind of make sense to you guys? That's why I talk about that brand. That brand is so important. And it's literally the thing that we guard the most at our company is, what do people think about us? You know, when they come to our show, do they have a good experience or do they have a bad experience? And if they have a bad one, what do we do? You know, because everything can't be perfect. You can't always do it right? But it's what you do. It's how you react when something goes wrong.
Okay, the last one is kind of general.
Mm-hmm.
Based on your huge education, how many ads are we exposed to every day?
Oh boy. We use the word impressions for ads.
It sounds much nicer.
So impressions are, you guys know what an impression is? You know when you make a first impression on someone, what is that? Do you guys know what that is? So like when I met all of you today, my first impression is, wow, what an astute, very smart and bright young group of people, or group of young people. And I thought, wow, they're dressed nice and they have nice smiles and they're here to learn, right? So my impression of you was good. So an impression is the impressions that you see every day. So I look across the street, I see Staples on their door here, and I look here and I see Walgreens, right? And I look down and I see Supply Side, and I look over here and I see Girl Scouts, and I look down there and I see CBRE, which is a real estate company that owns this building, and I can look down the street and, oh, hey, there's a Golden Arches, right? So now I'm getting hungry. There's Alexi's, so that's another restaurant. But all day long, there's the police, right? So your impressions, you're getting hit with messages all day long. How many? Probably, it depends by age group, really does. But for your age group, I would imagine that you guys are probably seeing somewhere in the neighborhood of, this is a totally wild guess, it could be way off, but I would say probably 5,000 to 10,000 things a day.
Wow.
Because you're seeing, imagine all the little things you see. Imagine when you watch TV. How long do you watch TV for, on average?
My kid's not a good one to ask. We don't watch TV.
Okay. How long do you watch TV for? Like an hour maybe every other day? Maybe every other day? Let's say a total of 5 hours a week, right? And maybe...
Not in my house.
No? Okay.
She's the TV right there. Ask her.
Are you the TV monger?
She is the TV.
How much TV do you watch a day?
I don't really know how much TV I watch every single day.
All right. All right, let's just...
School, it goes on right away, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, let's say you watch a half an hour program. Okay, let's say you watch a half hour program. In that half an hour, there might be 4 or 5 commercial breaks, which consist of probably 5 ads, 5 impressions, right? So that's 25 per half an hour that you watch. TV alone, just TV. Now, if you watch TV that's a half an hour. If you watch TV for 5 times that amount, which you probably watch more, but let's just say 2.5 hours, that's 125. Okay? If you watch it 10, that's 1,250 in a week. You see how that starts at? And that's one channel. That's one, not channel on the TV, but one channel, meaning television, right?
Right.
Then you got your magazines.
I think I used the word medium when I was...
That's a good one. That's one medium.
Okay.
That's one way that you get information. So if you can just start imagining that, 5,000 to 10,000 isn't that far off. It's probably more like, in a week's time, you probably see millions of advertisements. And in adults who drive around all day, they're seeing probably 3 to 4 million. So it's a lot.
That's amazing.
It's a lot. And that's the reason why branding is so important, because in all those messages, if your brand doesn't stick out in some way, then you won't get remembered. And then you have to rely on constantly sending an email or picking up the telephone and calling somebody or social media or whatever those things may be.
So let me ask you girls a question just out of curiosity, because now I'm piqued. Okay, so you don't drive, so you don't have to buy insurance. Remember we're using some of the insurance examples when we were talking about marketing. Okay. Even though you don't drive or have life insurance or own a home or a boat or a motorcycle, I'm assuming you guys don't own any of those things. Okay. What insurance company would you buy from? Not owning any of those things, but if you had to pick, just based on what you know at 12 years old, who would you buy from? Okay. AAA?
Verizon.
No, insurance.
Oh, insurance. My mind is blank.
Let me try it a different way.
Okay.
You might not get this one because you don't watch a lot of TV. Wee!
Oh, isn't that the pigs from the batteries?
For what?
For the batteries.
Uh-uh.
No.
No.
It's the pig on the zip line, right?
Well, first it was the pig in the back of the car, and then it was the pig on the zip line. It's Geico.
It
You know
is
the
Geico.
your little lizard friend?
Yeah, they would have gotten
Yeah.
a gecko. I don't know. Yeah.
But think about Geico. They've had such great luck with the lizard. Now they're going to a little pig that cries wee 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 all the way home.
His contract must be up.
But it's interesting because you're right. You're not. You guys aren't even close to age to buy insurance yet.
Right.
You can name insurance companies.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, in thinking of when you were talking about branding and automatically assimilating companies that we trust. For example, when I started having to have things insured, I automatically went with State Farm because that's who my parents had.
Right.
So if they're good enough for them, they're good enough for me. So.
We're social media. We talked about social marketing. There's another name for this that we often use. It's called word of mouth. Word of mouth advertising, which is the very, very powerful thing that you guys use to sell all those cookies. Word of mouth. So, anyway, thank you for coming.
Questions?
No? Well, if you do, you have my email address. Do not hesitate to send me an email.
Okay.
And I communicate best by email.
Awesome.
So, be
Thank
happy
you
to
so
take
much
questions.
for your time.
You're welcome. You're
Very
welcome.
cool.
Absolutely.
Very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your learning experience.